Welcome to Let's Talk Sports with Rick and Jack. I'm Rick. Jack, how are you?
Good, sir.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, we're in a different location this week.
Yeah.
Are you hiding from the Raiders fan? Is this a secret location?
Raiders fans been after me lately. So
the Raiders in the night
studio. We had to put in a different background this week. So we're trying different backgrounds for you, our audience, and we hope you like this. It's different this week, but the show's the same. We got a whole lot to talk about on
tons of information.
What do you want to start with?
Let's talk about what's relevant right now as far as the NCAA men's and women's tournament. We have Baylor doing their thing. You know, Stanford.
Baylor dominant.
Stanford all season long. You had them as far as one of your favorites to win it.
I
and
did.
Baylor, you called them as far as it's either going to be, somebody from the Big Ten or the 12. So here we are.
Yeah. It's in the end, the funny thing is that, as I know all of you know this, the two best teams really won. Stanford didn't play well against Arizona, and Arizona did a great job of beating UConn, and I was happy about that because Arizona deserved to be there. UConn didn't because of that foul that should have been called against Baylor. It really should have been the Baylor men and women in the championship. And I think the Baylor women actually would have won that game. I really do. But anyways, we got the men that won. They dominated. As you know, they dominated. In our production meeting yesterday.
You called it.
Yeah.
You said they couldn't shoot the three.
Gonzaga can't shoot the three, and they just don't have the speed of those three guards. Those three guards are prolific for Baylor, and they scored a lot of points, all three of them. And it was an easy game. It really was an easy game. Gonzaga is not even in the class of Baylor. If they played 10 times, Baylor would beat them 10 times. The same thing in the women's side. If Stanford played Arizona 10 times, they beat them 10 times. Stanford played horrible, the women. They played a horrible game. I think they had 17 turnovers. They don't have those kind of turnovers. First half, they had 10 turnovers. And I watched both games very closely. But, I've said Stanford women from the beginning. And, there were a lot of teams that were good. But in the end, I thought Stanford was the team. I really did. And we knew that the winner of the men's was going to come from the Big Ten or the Big 12. And guess what? Big Ten didn't show up. Even Michigan, losing to UCLA. UCLA wasn't that good.
They were good enough to beat them. So
yeah, they were good enough to get to the Final Four. But I'll tell you this. When I saw the way Gonzaga struggled against UCLA, I said to myself, they're going to get beat by Baylor. And I told everybody they'd lose by 10 or more, which happened. And that's the kind of game, as I was telling you, like the national championship football game. I knew Alabama was a dominant team. So those are the games, and I talk about this all the time for our audience, the big games when you've watched something all year long. If you watched NCAA football all year long, you should know the winner. I knew Alabama was going to win it, and I put a large bet on it. I won't talk about monetary units, but I put a large bet.
That was a lot of discretionary coins?
Well, I had to sign a lot of paperwork when I left the casino. That's what I said. Yesterday, same thing. I told you at our meeting, Baylor's going to win this game easy. They'll win by 10 or more. I specifically said they'll win by 10 or more. Well, I watched so much basketball that I knew that Gonzaga could not play with them. All these people saying Gonzaga was supposed to win, 4.5-point favorite. Are you kidding me? That was like ridiculous giving me that gift of 4.5 points. I'm like, Gonzaga was never going to play with Baylor. I mean, seriously. I mean, did you see something different than me?
No, and
you like Gonzaga, right?
I did like Gonzaga, but historically, an undefeated team coming into the playoffs or coming into March Madness, usually end up getting knocked out. I actually thought they were going to be one of the first ones to get knocked out because I just felt that throughout the season they weren't put to the test. They didn't play any. Their strength of schedule was not anything that they beat the teams that they were supposed to win because the talent wasn't there.
All year long,
they were going to get the competition during the playoffs, and boom, they were going to be one of the first teams to get knocked out. But they went to the championship, and here, Baylor was the better team.
By far. Quicker. One guy showed up for Gonzaga. Suggs. And the kid is a fine basketball player. He'll go high in the draft. I'm sure he's going to go out. He's only a freshman. I'm sure he's going to go out, but his skills are amazing. I just hope he reminds me a lot of Lonzo Ball. And just hope that he does better than Lonzo Ball.
But I think he's a better shooter than Lonzo Ball is.
Yeah,
In fact, Lonzo right now, what is it, year 3? He's finally got his shot. So, but this kid definitely, you see, he not only is he a facilitator, but he's got a shot.
Yeah, no, he's a fine ball player, but he's the only one that showed up here. I mean, Kispert, first team All-American. Timmy, he's supposed to be the man. Timmy was timid.
I'm gonna tell him you said that.
Hey, well, it's fine, but I'm telling you what,
Timmy,
he was intimidated by those big men of Baylor, and then he went out, his back hurt, and I'm like, in his face, you could see that he was not checked into that game. And again, a fine basketball player. Kispert, same thing. All-American. What did he do in that game? They cannot shoot the 3. And I told you this. They made, what did they make? Two threes, 3 threes, whatever it was.
And in our production meeting yesterday, that's exactly what you pushed, like you stressed it, that they're gonna get beat because they cannot shoot the 3. And I'm like, watching the game, I'm like, okay, that's exactly what Rick was talking about. They cannot win because they couldn't make a comeback because they were missing so many threes.
Yeah, Baylor was getting 3 to their every 2. And they couldn't, like Mark Few said of Gonzaga, we couldn't get consistent baskets and we couldn't stop them 2 times in a row. And it's true. Every time Baylor went down, they may have missed one time down, but the next time down, they made it. And they just couldn't stop the consistency. But it was a great tournament. The women's was a great tournament in the bubble. It was safe. The NCAA did a fabulous job. We commend them on a fabulous job for pulling this tournament off. It was a lot of fun to watch. We had a lot of fun over the weeks. And I knew a lot of people made some really good money, particularly Baylor fans. If you bet them all 6 games, you did really well. I followed Baylor pretty closely, and it was a good tournament. Hopefully you made some money. Hopefully you had some fun with your family and friends. But kudos to the 2 teams, the 2 winners. Stanford on the women's side, they had gone 18 years without a championship, and Vandermeer's the coach. She's the winningest coach of all time. So kudos to Coach Vandermeer. Kudos to Stanford. Baylor, you had a great year. You're a very talented team. No weaknesses on that team. Weaknesses on. They might be able to beat a couple NBA teams.
A little trivia on the Stanford team that I didn't realize. But there's a Wilson on that team.
Yes, Russell was there watching his sister play.
Yeah,
and cheering. And one of the games, Sierra was there with them and high-fiving and going crazy. That game they were down by 12 and came roaring back in that second half. That was their big challenge. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and it's done. And now we go on to so many other things. Baseball, Major League Baseball started.
Yeah, I was disappointed. The first series my New York Mets were in, it got canceled because of COVID. And then last night, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball, but for some reason they never give him any offense when they play. I'm talking about DeGrom. He ended up leaving the game. He was winning, left the game, and the relievers blew it for him. And he's got 31 since 2018, where the Mets have blown the lead for him.
Yeah, DeGrom's a great pitcher. Unfortunately, he's not in a good organization, but they're supposed to contend this year. We'll see what happens. The Yankees are playing well. I've been enjoying watching. I have been watching some baseball, but I watched the first 5 games of the Angels. 4 of them, they came from behind after the 7th inning to win. It's a lot of fun watching the Angels. They look like
do they have Angels in the outfield?
Man, whatever it is, I'm glad to see them win because every year, I feel sorry for that kid Trout, the best ball player, best ball player in the game, and I just love to watch him play. I love that team, and they got some good players if they can pitch, and if they can relieve, they'll be okay. But I'm rooting for the Angels to hopefully get there this year.
Oh, so no Dodgers this year?
Well, that's on the American League side. The Dodgers, of course. The Dodgers. Who's going to contend with them? The Padres, the Braves?
No, but unfortunately,
who's going to contend with the Dodgers?
Unfortunate news for the Padres. Their $341 million man went out last night with a shoulder injury.
Is it serious? I know he hurt himself on a swing.
Yeah.
Tatis,
yes, sir. Yeah, he injured himself last night.
I saw that.
Unfortunately, when
How long's he out?
they don't know yet. It's going to get reevaluated today and probably next couple of weeks because the inflammation needs to go down first before they can really see what's happening. So
Yeah, it's. I don't know how many of you love baseball. I'm a sports fan. Baseball fan. I enjoy it. I try to watch games every night. There's 3 or 4 games on, but enjoy that. It's fun to bet on. It's fun to have some bets. Watch for the one thing you get in Major League Baseball is teams will get on streaks, winning and losing. And you got to really follow that close. When teams get a good momentum in baseball, for some reason, they'll reel off 7, 8 straight wins. And on the other side of the coin, when things aren't going well, they've lost some games, the same thing will happen. They'll lose 5, 6, 7 games in a row. But, teams like the Braves and the Dodgers, very consistent teams, the Yankees, Boston finally won a game last night. I don't, the Boston organization, man, they just don't win anymore. And I like to see them win because I'm a Boston fan. But they finally won a game big last night. I think they were 0-4. They lost their first 4 games. So, baseball's, man, we got a long way to go.
And it's just the beginning of the season.
Grueling season.
I'll catch a game here and there. And obviously, if there's nothing else on TV, or I'll watch it in between, the next game. But there's a lot of games and there's a lot of way to make money with baseball. It's just you have to, like he said, you got to watch trend, whether or not the team's going up or going down. You can ride that wave and, double down and keep on stacking your money, 3 or 4 games. You'll get on like a 19 game win streak like the Pirates, but who has that much guts to just put all that and keep compounding it? But it's baseball season. It's here and loving it.
Bets is about betting games, and sports is about looking for consistency in teams. You saw that in the NCAA tournament. If you were betting UCLA, they won a lot of games in a row. And I'm a guy who I was betting UCLA, and I just kept doubling my bet. Well, then when they played Gonzaga, I didn't even bet the game. The money was already. The money was already in the bank. But I would have won that bet because Gonzaga was favored heavily. They only lost by 3 points.
They didn't cover.
Gonzaga did not cover. So, it's like I would have won every single game. But, I got on that. You get on that streak with teams. And, that's what gambling's about. First of all, feeling good about paying attention. People just throwing bets out. I see people betting things that too much with your heart. I'm not a heart better. I'm a big Dodger fan. I'm a big Laker fan. Football, I'm not really a fan of anybody. I know I'm a Raider hater, but sorry, y'all, Raider fans. I know.
Again, we're in a hideout.
You're looking for me in the supermarket. I'm the only guy in Vegas, that doesn't know anything about the hockey team here. What's their name?
Golden Knights.
Golden Knights.
Oh, man.
How are they doing this year? Tell me about the Golden. Let's switch gears here now. Let's not talk about the Raiders.
Let's talk about winners. Is that what you're saying?
The Golden Knights winning? What's going on? Geez, a guy who knows sports so well, I don't know anything about the Golden Knights.
Well, our Golden Knights, they threw up some pucks throughout in the net last night. It went 6-1.
They won 6-1.
Yeah.
Well, they win like 9 out of every 10 games, don't they? They're really good.
They are having one of the best goalies in the game. As much as people want to say he's old. When Marc-Andre Fleur, he's did
he get over his dispute with the team?
No,
then things worked out. Last year they put him on the bench, right?
Yes, and it's just
he's the man this year again.
What it is, and people don't understand. Yes, he is the man this year. He's probably one of the winningest goalies right now for the season. Is they brought a guy in there to give him a quality backup. A guy because of his talent, it's like having a race car. Just because you have a race car doesn't mean you're always driving it fast, right?
Yeah. Well, they brought a little challenging for him.
Yes.
Make him work hard again.
Yes.
Make him appreciate what he was. Last year was a bad year. It was a bad year for everybody with COVID and being in bubbles and all this stuff. But I keep reading and seeing on the news that there's a lot of COVID cases in hockey. What's going on with that? Is that true? I was reading something that more than 50% of the players had tested positive. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it's just a matter of I don't think hockey's taking the precautions as say like a Major League Baseball did, because when the thing with hockey, when hockey first started, they had a few cases, whereas Major League Baseball, the entire Florida Marlins, like at one point in the season, were not playing. Wow. So they don't want to have that same mistake again So there are more precautions in place. Same thing with NBA. NBA has a lot to do. They have a lot of national games on. So if they cancel a game, it affects their bottom line with advertising and stuff. Whereas hockey, it's the bottom line is less than what it is for all the other major sports. So I just don't think that they're taking it as serious as they should. And it's going to come down to when it's closer towards the playoffs, the commission is going to have to put his foot down.
Do you think the playoffs will be a bubble situation for hockey again this year?
Yes. You know what? I'll take that back. No. But I think it's going to be more along the lines of maybe teams are going to have to be in their individual bubbles, but they will travel back and forth, and there will be fans in the stand and all that stuff. It'll be business as usual, but teams individually will be in their individual bubble, and I think that's the way it should work.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm looking at Major League Baseball, and they have about 20% at the games. Anywhere from 10 to 15,000 people in the stands. I'm watching the Angels play. I think they had 12,500 last night, which is, that stadium holds 50,000. But it was a loud crowd, and it was nice to see, fans. And during the NCAA tournament, we got to see some fans a little bit, and not too many, but it's great to see fans back at the ball games. And I don't know if you all have gone to any games or gone to any of the hockey games out there where they were allowing some fans, like they are here in Vegas. What is it, 2,500 a game? Or?
Yeah, and
have you gone out yet?
No, to be honest, I'd rather watch it at home. I can watch it with my family, and I have a few cocktails, and the most I'll do is I'll stumble up to the bedroom and fall asleep.
Okay.
If I have one too many, if I'm at the ballpark right now, I got to worry about getting home. Make sure the Uber driver takes me.
That's what they got Uber drivers for.
Yeah, but make sure they take me right home.
Listen, just call me. I don't do anything. I'm home every night. I'll come and pick you up, and I'll do.
But then I have to hear
I'll do it for $150.
Oh, man.
I'll do it for $150. I mean,
Well, I don't have as much discretionary income that you have.
Well,
you just said you want to
make shrewd bets.
You want a taxable.
Yeah, you got to start. You got to start making the bets I make, like last night's game. Hey, that's a big coin. I'm heading to the casino after the show today to sign the paperwork. They're gonna have to go to the vault.
Oh man!
Hey,
you're gonna need security to take you to the car.
I'm needing you to go with me. But the big games. I have to tell you, and again, we want to thank you for watching the shows, and we have so much fun, Jack and I, with these shows, and a lot of bantering and back and forth. But it's a lot of fun. I want to thank you all for liking the shows and sharing them with your friends and watching us at YouTube and WWDBTV and Roku. We're very appreciative. That's the number one thing. It's about our audience. We do this to please everyone and have a good time with it. But I always want to stop and thank you. Both of us are very appreciative and grateful.
Absolutely.
For you viewing us. And again, I'm always trying to help people out with making a little money on the side, because it'd be great not to have to work on a 40-an-hour-a-week job. I can tell you that. I don't. So anyways,
lucky guy.
It's been fun, but that can always turn on you, believe me. So do it wisely. Don't dip into family funds, but have fun betting on games. It makes it a little better. Speaking on betting on things, what's happening with the Masters this weekend? Who you like? Who's going to put the green jacket on?
To be honest, it's hard to select. I think it's actually somebody new is going to win the jacket this year. It's not going to be the usuals. I don't have a favorite.
Yeah, I like Thomas. He's just been playing so well, and I think he's going to have a big tournament. It's so competitive, these guys. You can go years without winning. I mean, great players can go years without winning, and they'll get second, third, fifth, and it's always good money, of course. But the Masters is fun. It's competitive. And do you watch it?
Yeah, absolutely. Ironically, I watch it because of Nance.
Oh, Nance is the best.
He's the best.
He's great at basketball too. Look at him yesterday. He was fantastic in the tournament.
Well, my front runner is probably DeChambeau.
Yeah.
But that's just because
he's been good.
He's right, and right now he's on a tear where he's always there.
Yeah.
So so he's always making a cut, and so that's my favorite.
Yeah, and I think Something's telling me that Koepka is going to have a good tournament. He's always right
Again,
there.
he's always right there too.
Right there. You know, Dustin Johnson is always right there. He plays so well, and there's some young upcoming guys that are just playing so well, and it's a lot of fun. It's a fun tournament. It comes down to that final day.
Are they allowing fans this year?
They're going to have a partial crowd, not too many, but it's not going to be full. But they'll have some people there, and it'll be fun. So let's check that out. One other thing that I wanted to talk about before we close today, and you're trying to cover a lot of sports. Kentucky Derby's coming up
May 1st.
May 1st. It's literally May 1st this year. As we know, it's always the first Saturday in May, and I know a lot of you are horse racing fans, and as you all know, I've been fortunate enough to own my own barn full of horses and been in the horse racing business, and it's been a lot of fun for me. But I always look forward to the Derby. Never ran a horse in the Derby. It's still a goal of mine. I love it. It comes up every year. It's a tradition. It's not the biggest racing anymore. The Breeders' Cup is the biggest racing, and the Dubai Cup is the biggest racing. But there's something about the Kentucky Derby that just gets me excited.
Well, yes, for us regular folks that's not in the sports like you are, the Kentucky Derby is like our big thing, because it's like right out of spring. It's springtime, so it's very festive, and depends on where you are in the country, you can put some coins on it. That's why it's big for us, but right. For you, with knowledge, knowing that these top horses that are winning these, especially part of the Triple Crown, they're going to be in the Breeders' Cup, because those are all championship horses. Yeah. So it is the biggest. But for people,
it's a big racing day.
People like me, but I'm ready.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's fun putting some money on it. You remember last year I gave it out on the show, and then I didn't bet it.
I remember.
I wonder if all you remember that. Last year, we've been doing this a while now and having fun with it. I gave out the winner last year on our show prior to it, and I didn't bet it. And I came sheepishly into the studio and said, well, I changed my bet, which, as you horse players know, we change our bets often. If something gets us off of a horse, or we saw something we didn't like, or the horse that was sweating, warming up, whatever it is, I didn't bet the winner. But this year, there's a couple of horses that I really like. I had liked Greatest Honor. Shug McGahee's horse was looking very good, but in the Florida Derby ran a kind of a weak third, and the winner was Known Agenda, who looked good. Second place was I think name of the horse Soup and Sandwich. Greatest Honor came in third, but there's something telling me they didn't have that horse cranked up, because the horse already qualified. The horse already qualified for the Derby prior to that race. So I'm hoping that the trainer was just
seeing where, make sure that they can, the horse can keep up without putting up too much, because the big races where they want to push the horse to the limit. And
there was a big race at San Diego Derby this past weekend, and a very nice horse by the name of Rock Your World or Rock My World.
Yeah, one of the two
was the winner. And John Sadler, if any of you know John Sadler, he's always in the stakes type of races. He wins a lot of those. He gets his horses ready. I think he's going to be ready.
He beat out a
Baffert horse. Baffert will have a couple in there, but anyways, start looking at it. It's a couple more weeks. All the preps are about done, and just see how horses are training. It's a lot of fun. And the great thing about this show is we talk about so many different sports and so many things that are fun. Is there anything we're missing that we didn't cover today that you want to talk about?
Nothing really. As far as like NFL right now, Jets made a trade, so they have the number 2 pick. They end up trading Sam Darnold to Carolina, and I think it's going to be a better position for him in Carolina, whereas he was not getting any protection in New York. So hopefully, he does them well. And the Jets, obviously, quarterback from BYU.
Is that who they're going to take?
I think so.
Zach Wilson.
He's the.
Is that why they did that? They traded him, and it's funny to me. I think that Sam Darnold is a very capable quarterback. I think he was in a bad environment. I think the best thing happened for him. He'll do well in Carolina. He's got Matt Rule as his coach, who is a good coach for young players. He's new in the league, and I think they'll do very well together. It ended up, there's a whole new team with the Jets, and they just wanted to change Darnold out and start with a new quarterback. Is Zach Wilson the guy? I don't know. In 3 years, we're probably going to be saying the same thing we did about Darnold, and he's going to be traded.
True.
But, you know, the Jets are just not a good organization. And
The culture is
like
bad.
their owner said, I'm tired of losing. And you know, he should be tired of losing because they're losing. But I think Darnold is a very capable quarterback, and I think he's going to do well.
In the right situation. And
absolutely.
Just like any other
He'll
team.
be fine.
No matter how good the quarterback in like a Russell Wilson, he was not being protected. And guess what?
Yeah, it was a tough year for him.
It was a very tough year for him. So it'll be the same thing, but hopefully Darnold has a better situation in Carolina, and wish him much success.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You know, for me, it's like, let's go, Jets.
Gonna draft a quarterback, a young guy again. So we'll talk a lot more about NFL in the coming weeks because the draft is coming up this month, and it's going to change a lot of teams. College players nowadays are pro ready. Believe me, it's not like the old days where it took 2 or 3 years. These rookies are coming in now and making an impact.
What they're expecting.
Yeah, and they're paying them the money. And again, these guys are coming in with a lot of talent, and I expect some difference makers and the NFL to change a bit this year, and some new teams step up. But we'll talk about that. We're going to actually have an NFL show, and we'd like to get your input and, you know, who you think is going to be drafted, you know, 1, 2, 3. They're talking about what, 5 quarterbacks in the first 10 picks?
That's
crazy.
Because that's a needed position right now.
Yeah. I'm curious where Fields is going to go. There's a lot of pros and cons on him, and I'm real curious about that. But again, we'll talk more about that. Thanks for watching today. We really enjoy it. It's so much sports right now. The NCAA tournament was fun, both men's and women's. We thank you for watching. We thank you for liking us, checking us out at all the different social medias. We look forward to next week's show. And again, look at the Kentucky Derby and start watching some baseball. And, you know, you'll have a lot more time with NCAA basketball done. But you want to say anything in closing?
Hit that notification button.
Yeah, please like us, follow us. Thanks for watching. See you soon. God bless. Talk to you later.